Hello guys. This is Ganksign and welcome to my channel. As you can hear, today's video is a little different. Most likely I will use a text-to-speech reader for making videos. This is so I can upload more videos and longer videos. So today I have two longer stories for you guys. This first one is about two incredibly entitled parents who think they have the right to privatize a public playground and that the children are more valued than others. So, with nothing further to do, let's get into it.
So I've posted a couple of times here and so far they have all been about the variety of Karen I meet at my workplace, but today something happened in my neighborhood that I think deserves its own story. So just down the road from my house is a decent-sized playground with a 2 to 3 feet fence over it, meaning smaller kids have to use the gate, where older and bigger ones are able to climb over as long as they get a leg up. It's only got vertical bars, meaning no footholds. And the top is all thin prongs, meaning you can really rest your hands on it without getting stabbed. Anyway, the park is very popular with the children in the area and is always very crowded and busy, but that just makes it more fun, as it means they can make more friends. Recently, however, I've been hearing about a particular family who have been rather rude and tend to push away other people when they use the park. There's an entitled mom, EM, and entitled dad, ED, and two entitled kids, K1 and K2, both boys, and I don't know nor do I care how old they are, and I hadn't met any of them until today. Thursdays are the days I get to see my niece and nephew and I cherish them. I don't have kids of my own, but if they turned out like my niece and nephew, then I would be an extremely happy dad. Anyway, today they both decided that they wanted to go to the playground and play on the swings, and I could always use the fresh air, so I took them down. Straight away I noticed the playground, I'm going to refer to it as the PG from now on because I am sick of typing playground, was very empty and there was only 2 kids on there, so I went over and let my niece and nephew run over to the park while I walked there myself. I saw they were having some issues getting the gate open. The gate has a sliding lock so it doesn't swing open in the wind, but I knew they were both capable of opening it, so I was curious if they were just messing around. As I got closer I saw that someone had put a padlock on the gate to stop it being opened, and straight away I assumed it was one of the 2 kids on the park, who just so happened to be K1 and K2. I asked them to come and open the gate so that we could come in, but they told me they didn't have it on them and that we needed to go away. I scoffed and lifted my niece and nephew over the fence and into the park, and they both ran off to the swings. I stayed outside because there was no way I was climbing over the fence in skinny jeans. I couldn't even bend down properly. After around 20 minutes of watching the children playing, I got a text from my sister saying that dinner was ready and that we needed to go back and eat, so I called over my niece and nephew to come to the fence so I could lift them over to go home. And I couldn't do it. They were both too heavy to get a proper grip and lift on. I asked K1 and K2 if they knew who put the lock on the gate, and they once again were of no help. I explained that if they didn't tell me who locked the gate, then they would probably be stuck here because I can't go and fetch them to open in. They laughed and then proceeded to climb over the fence as a pair and then run over to one of the houses up the road. I wanted to follow them to potentially ask their parents, but I couldn't leave my niece and nephew alone. So I called my sister. This is how I explained it. Me: hey sis, I need your help. Sis, you didn't lose the kids, did you? Me: no, come down to the playground please. I'll explain when you get here. Sis, just tell me now, I'm not coming all the way over there for nothing. What's going on? Me: the kids are stuck in the park, I need your help getting him over the fence. I can't climb in and I can't lift him out. Sis, use the gate. Me: someone locked it, there's a big padlock on it. Sis: what? I'll be there in a few minutes, hold on. Click. Once I'd hung up, I looked back towards the house that K1 and K2 ran to, and I saw them coming back, parents in tow. I assumed they were coming to help. Boy, was I wrong. All four of them walked up to me and I immediately got an earful before I could even speak. My children were using this park. How dare you come over and disturb them? Then you threaten to lock my kids here all night. You're lucky we haven't called the police. I'm sorry. This is a public playground. I just asked if your sons knew who locked the gate. I did. What is it to you? Well, can you unlock it? And I'm almost certain you're not allowed to do this. Ed proceeds to unlock the gate and let my niece and nephew out, only for him to go right back to locking it. We lock it so our kids can enjoy it without any bratty children coming over and disturbing them. Now we would appreciate it if you stayed off the playground from now on. I knew this wasn't worth my time and there wasn't a lot I could do. So I took my niece and nephew home and that was that. We didn't go back, but I am going to go back tomorrow and see if it's still locked or not. I'll post an edit when I know. Edit. I woke up 30 minutes early today to give me time to go check the gate before I leave for work, and it was still locked, so I called the non-emergency number and told the cops, gave them both my details and what I knew about the family, and left it with them. I shall post another update after work. Edit 2. Oh boy, have I got some news. So on my way home from work I stopped by the gate once again and the padlock had actually gone. I'll get to what happened in a jiffy, but anyway, I skipped my way down the road knowing I had done a neighborhood a service, only to hear the undeniable voice of an entitled parent from their front door. It was entitled Dad, ready to give me an earful. Oi dickhead, are you the asshole that called the cops on us? We had to take off our fucking lock because of you. I'm not apologizing. You were potentially putting people in risk and also trying to privatize a public place, both are crimes, so I called the police. And I'd happily do it again. You can't do shit without the police. You're pathetic. Don't wind me up, mate, because I can make you fucking suffer. Small note here, I'm 21 and I am rather scrawny looking, but I tend to keep my cool in most situations, but I'd had enough of this guy, who I'd say was in his mid-30s. Want me to call the police right now for threatening me? I pull out my phone. Edie then proceeds to close the door and give me the finger through the window. So I stroll back home, and I only looked over my shoulder twice. I used a lot of what I read here when I was talking to the dad. I don't actually know if what I said was 100% true, but it seemed to work.
Alright, I can't even think of a comment for that. This next one is about a grandma bringing her daughter and her children to a doctor's office, and I'm just gonna let you see how it turns out.
I work for an ENT a couple of days a week. My job is to both efficiently and accurately give patients a hearing assessment before they see the doctor. In the audiological field, ENT days are pretty well known to be quite high stress because of the complexity of assessments. The patients we assess are often there because they were referred from private hearing clinics or GPs for red flags or complicated cases, and the speed at which you are expected to assess people. I normally see between 35 to 40 patients per day. One appointment that goes a bit over the allotted time can throw off your entire day. Anyway, yesterday one of my first morning appointments, a 55 to 60-year-old woman, EGM, showed up 20 minutes late. When I called her back to my office, she was dragging a little boy, EB, who looked about 3.5. As soon as she let go of his hand, EB started running around the room screaming and banging his minion toy on the walls. I asked EGM if she had brought anyone to watch him while I tested her. EGM, my daughter is in the waiting room. Okay. Can you please take EB back to her then? It will be easier to do the test alone. EGM, no. He wants to play in here. I'm sorry, but this is a doctor's office and I need to assess you. He can't be distracting you or I during the test. EGM, fine. I'll get my daughter. So she goes and gets the daughter, EM, who brings another young child, a girl who looked about 2, e.g., into the room. EB is still screaming and running and EG joins in immediately. I'm already pissed they were 20 minutes late and having to argue about the kid, and then fetching EM has already taken another chunk of precious time. So I get EGM into the sound booth and EB comes running in. Me, I'm sorry buddy, but you can't be in here. You need to go wait with your mom. EGM, no, he can stay. He wants to play in here. Me, no, I already told you, he can't be distracting you or I during this test. And he's not just, hey, stop. Don't touch those wires. EB has started pulling out the wires plugged into the booth and neither EGM nor EM do anything. I pull his hands away and guide him out of the booth, which he protests by screaming and throwing himself onto the floor. I lock eyes with EM and she continues to do nothing. EG has found the pediatric assessment toys and has dumped the entire bucket onto the floor. I choose to ignore this for the sake of time. While I am attempting to assess EGM, both children are causing complete havoc behind me. They are grabbing extremely expensive and high-tech instruments off of my shelves. They are taking hearing aid color chips and trying to rip them apart. They are throwing the pediatric toys all over the room. They are climbing onto my desk chair and knocking over everything in my desk. All the while EM is sitting there, doing absolutely nothing, casually and placidly observing the wreckage. I had to stop testing 4 times to stop EB and EG from ruining equipment probably worth more than the average car. EGM could hardly hear my instructions through the microphone because of the screaming. My blood was just about boiling at this point, but it is my job to be professional. Eventually I finish EGM's assessment and the room is in ruins. Me to EM, your children need to clean up what they've done. EM, isn't that your job? Me, no. My job is to assess hearing. Your children made this mess and now they need to clean it up. I need to take the next patient. EM, they don't want to clean up. They want to play in here. Me, struggling to keep my composure. Listen, this is a doctor's office, not a daycare center. You and your children need to clean this up now while I get ready for the next patient. There are toys in the waiting room they can play with. So EM and the kids to clean up what they've thrown around, but EG is still holding one of the pediatric assessment toys as they try to leave the room. Me, she still has a toy in her hand. I need that back. EM, you have a whole bucket of toys. Can't she keep just one? Me, no, I need them for assessing other kids. She needs to put it back. EG, can I please have the toy back? Of course, being 2, EG doesn't want to. She hides it behind her back and tried to leave, but I hold the door shut. EM, you are being selfish. She is only 2 and just wants one toy. Me, again, this is a doctor's office. The equipment in here is necessary for the work that I do. If you do not give the toy back, I can't imagine the doctor will allow you back to this practice. EM still doesn't see this as a problem, so I reach down and pry the toy out of EG's hand. She screams and throws herself on the floor. I open the door to let them out. Me, have a nice day. EM, death glare.
I really hope they get those kids checked for ADHD because that could probably help him a lot. Anyways, please write in the comment section down below if you would like me to record these intros and outros with my microphone instead of using a text-to-speech reader. Anyways, if you are new to the channel, I'd highly appreciate if you'd subscribe, leave a like and activate notifications. Also, if you have any feedback, leave it in the comment section down below. Otherwise, to your right is a really awesome video and to your left is a brand new one. I hope you'll have a great rest of your day and always remember, get good or get ganked.